this again. Welcome tonight, everyone. My name is Omar Zupanula. We are joined in the booth here by Duchess Rakayo Sama. We've got a match here tonight in the 2021 Winter Dab Tournament. Duchess, how you doing?
Can't complain about a thing. Today's a lovely day and definitely excited for this match. It's going to be a doozy, as you can see.
That it is. So as we were explaining, hopefully you guys caught it before. If not, we'll go through it again. JMan here in red. He's playing row 4. This is double anti-bingo, in case you didn't know. That means you have to clear 2 rows, one that's been assigned to you, and any other row. So JMan in red, he's got row 4. That's use nor caster items, hit level 40 on one character, walk the Hall of Giants, defeat every chat tile in Ice Cave, and use no cabins, houses. That tile right there has been a problem. That is just awful.
No houses. I mean, look, cabins are good. The fact that you can at least save is a good thing, but no houses, man.
I know. Okay, and then Drew's got bottom left to top right, but we're already going. Let's check out White Magic, Lamp.
The Almighty Lamp. Brack, that's a good one. And they also had Harm 3 for the cheap at White Magic.
That's really unfortunate, though, that we don't have any good sweeper right off the start.
We've got Lamp, though. It's the Almighty. If you start off with Lamp, then you pretty much are set off for success, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, of course. Lamp wins games. I'm looking at these party comps now. We've got, on JMan's side, we've got Black Belt, Red, Black Mage. He's opted to go with a Nun. That's going to be tough, I think, especially with his party, given the fact we got nothing for Sweeper right off the start.
I mean, yes, it's going to take him a lot longer to get, I guess, in the saddle.
Absolutely, but we all know once the Black Belt hits level 42,
it's over.
It's game over.
It's over. And I like actually knowing what you're going into, at least on the board, right? Saying, oh, okay, well, we can't use caster items. I can't even use houses. The value, even though a white mage can always cast life 2. So you might be missing out on a life 2, right? And if you are at, level 5, 6, that hurts because you can't promote. But outside of that, it kind of does diminish the value overall because when you go somewhere, you just got to gun it.
Yeah, we've got a question in chat. I suppose I should ask, what do Blessed and Cursed mean? So you'll notice with all of the items, you're going to see a -5 to a +5. And what that means is that those stats for those items are either subtracted by 5 or whatever, and then also conversely added if it's a plus. So you could get a weapon that is much better if it's got a +4 or +5, or armor that's better, or conversely worse if it's negative.
Correct.
We've already got Drew attempting to take on Garland. That didn't go well, unfortunately. So it seems like Garland's being a pain right off the start.
And I mean, the interesting thing is the seed doesn't care about the bingo board. So the logic could have actually been to use a caster item, but they can't use caster items. So that's what makes bingo very fun, because every seed has its own unique logic, right? Oh, we're not giving you good sweeper spells, but you'll find a come up stick somewhere and then be able to fire through everything, but you can't use that.
Exactly. Each thing is sort of independent of its own, or it doesn't play off of one another, which makes, when you start looking at certain tiles, like one in row 1, column 1, defeat Lich with Quake. That sounds really easy, unless Quake is level 8. Oh, we got Brack goes off for JMan, Garland down. So here we go. First items. We got Herb from the King, and Key from Sarah.
That's amazing. Very early. The value of early key is amazing because anywhere you go, you don't have to miss out on a box, especially because you don't have houses. You really just got to try to get it when you can. And if you can find early exit spell, they'll be laughing.
Yeah,
Well,
and the other great thing about that is technically you really only need 2 items to beat the game, because we've started with free orbs while the orb comes out of Corneria Lock. So you only need 2 items to beat the game. Orbs are already lit for you. All you need is the loot to get past the block, and then the key to open up the door directly after it. We've also got a ruby for sale here in Corneria for 32, which JMan's picked up.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, so let's start running through some of these potentials on the bingo board. So for JMan, he's got to do no caster items in that row and that. Looking at the rest of it, I like column 2 for him, and I think that's what he's going for, because he took 1 none. Defeating 3 lizards, you're probably going to find them if you're walking around grinding, and you're going to grind with a black belt. Another 40 you have to do, and then it's talk to 6 backs in Marsh. That to me seems like the most logical choice for him.
100%. It makes, I mean, when you put it that way, that's just a clear winner, because it's just, if it fills itself with the black belt, if it fills 3 needs, I don't have to promote, hit level 40, take 1 none, done. Just do the 2 things.
That's for him. It's super easy. Let's switch over to Drew's side while he attempts to take on
JMan just came up. Did you see the life 2 in exit at level 2 white magic?
And all of a sudden that red mage is completely good, because who needs the white when all of that magic is learnable?
Well, that just kind of weighted things to JMan's side, because not only is he running black belt, I mean, you don't need houses anymore, so that worked out in everyone's favor. Hooray, right? Even you don't, because you need to refill the charge of life 2, but you still have life 2, so you have a crutch on staying alive, right? But the true value is every single battle you're just getting the 3 experience shared versus the 4 experience. So the value now of the 2 white mages has gone down considerably, in my opinion.
I would agree, and I think also when you're running a party with a black belt, at some point you're dropping the other 2 characters. You're running a solo grind. That's happening. But the great thing about a 3-man party is your natural levels, those fights you're taking along the way, those mages are probably going to pretty naturally get into the mid-20s, which should be more than fine support for a 42 black belt to punch anything in Topher.
Absolutely. Now the trouble, I guess, and they're all both gonna run a little bit of, well, JMan's gonna have the HP of the black belt when it gets over, but otherwise that's gonna be the bulk of their HP. Drew is not gonna have the greatest HP with a thief or a black belt, but the white mages are okay. So, and because they're white mages, I mean, we haven't seen, cure yet or heal, but you would think they'll be able to at least keep themselves up in a cycle. So that's an interesting distribution, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm looking at Drewlith tiles now. He's got the bottom left to the top right. He's got defeat Tier 1, which is a little annoying because now he has to find both the chime and the cube to be able to get to Tiamat 1 to defeat her. I hit level 40 on a character. Running a thief, a level 40 thief is okay, but you're really dependent on finding a good weapon.
Mercy.
Cast a spell of every different element in battle. So that's going with the 8 elements that exist in the game, and then also non-elemental. So there's 9 different spells that have to get cast, which is easy in theory, but again, if something gets locked behind level 8, that can be a little annoying to take the time to find it. Defeat 3 slimes, not horrible, but can be a little annoying. You're probably going to, I'd say Marsh Cave might be good. because mucks and slimes are pretty prevalent there to get those. And then talk to Hooray Dwarf is just for fun.
Yep. That's definitely. I mean, the thing about it is, honestly, that's a tough one to ask. Going in with the thief, I understand the thief, but because you can't promote, unless they got the allocation of the tiles and then the strikeouts after. The thief it's good early on because you'll be able to run away and select your battles, quote unquote. But because you can't promote, the thief isn't getting any magic. And you're right, it's at the mercy of a weapon. And yeah, when it gets level 42, etc., it'll be pretty strong, but
yeah, I think the promotion thing isn't going to affect Drew in any way. I have a hard time thinking he's going to follow through with column 2, so I can see him when he gets the tail, because I think he needs to find a katana or a masa. I mean, masa means you don't have to promote, but then you have to find it. It is one of the incentivized items, so it's somewhere out there in the world. But a katana could be really, really useful as well, and that promotion would be good for him. Now, going through that, Drew's going to have to make a play on a second row or something to light up. So going through this, what do you see that makes sense for him to be able?
This is interesting. I mean, right now, we've only seen 2 levels of magic, but Quake is not in our favor as of yet because we're banking on Elflin pretty much for it to be on good odds. Gosh, this is not easy. I mean, you would think maybe the collect and keep a wood, iron, and steel armor. I don't know. I really don't.
I think for him, me personally looking at this, I like column 2.
Column 2. Kill different 3 delivers.
3 different slimes he's got to do anyway because it's in his diagonal. The other one is hit level 30. Well, he has to hit level 40 on a character, so that's an automatic check. Canoe from Elfland to Iceland, but there's a good chance that's going to happen just how the seed plays out. Well, we get a ship from the people.
Ship.
Yep, we've already got the canoe from Dickie. We got the ship. That makes a lot of sense. Row 2 to me seems like the easiest. Again, talk to Six Bats and Marsh. It makes a lot of sense for him to go there because mucks and slimes are prevalent there. You can get 2 of your slimes out of the way that you have to deal with and see a status elemental skill or spell. Someone's going to cast ink at some point in this match, if not in Tulsa itself. And so that's going to probably check that off.
You make a good point.
So row 2 to me seems like a really, really good play.
It does, and yet 1 or 2 things could make you change your whole direction, right?
That's the beauty of it.
So 1 or 2 things can make you go, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how bingo goes. Until you're committed, you're just looking for opportunities, the best you can find them, right? That's how I look at bingo for the first maybe 20 minutes. Then afterwards, it's like, God, I've made some lightning 3 and ice 3 at level 3, paying off. Make some commitments, not commitments, but you do some exploration early on, and then around 20-25 minutes in, you've pretty much got some defined paths, and you're not looking to deviate. Oh, Xfer, I would be picking that up because that would leave Confuse Carry as a potential option. At level 3, spam that and hopefully find Confuse somewhere.
Yeah, the nice thing about those players in particular that we've kind of gone over the bottom left to top right as well as row 2 for Drew is the only thing he needs is in terms of go mode is loot key, chime, and key to be able to enter into Mirage and Sky and kill T1. The less items you need to go into to be able to get into dungeons, to find in that the faster you can complete this since orbs are already lit. So being able to get rid of certain key item checks, be able to get into go mode so much faster is really, really good. Well, unfortunately, Drew takes a wipe in Volcano and sets him back all the way back to Provoca.
You do not want to see that.
No, but luckily for him, he has the opportunity to use cabins and houses where JMan's going to be forced to be really, really careful with that. And here that herb turn.
So so I actually have a question. When the boxes are toggled, right? You know, red and green, you can still elect to not do that square.
Oh yeah, there are certain squares that start off automatically checked off, like use no houses or cabins. As soon as you start the game, you haven't done it yet. So as soon as you then, particularly in Drewlith's case, pardon me, he doesn't have that as a required square. So he can choose to, if he goes, you know what, this square is useless to me, I don't care, I want to use cabins and houses, I'm getting rid of it. JMan, on the other hand, it's part of his required road, so he needs to be vigilant in doing that. And here we see JMan in Marsh, he's talking to 6 bats, and that's going to close that off, which really makes me think he's going to be going his designated row 4 in column 2.
You know what I think could be interesting? Maybe, you know, as rounds progress, so on and so forth, these forced boxes, you just have to do them.
Yeah, and that's exactly...
It's like, you can force a row, but then also you still have to force a box. So it's like, you know, it would add a bit more... not ingenuity, a bit more constraint, to be honest, because then it's like, oh, I have to maneuver between, you know, I have to use this box. What if you knew going in both individuals couldn't use a house, rather than one individual could elect to not use houses?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is how this tournament is scheduled. That's the beauty of bingo, though, is there are literally 1,000 ways that you can construct this. I mean, I've seen matches within our Iron Goal set where it's blackout.
Absolutely.
You have to get every single card on the board, which can be long and arduous.
Got Jay taking down some scorpions up top and getting some levels, already level 8. And that's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Drewlith here making another run back into Volcano. We do have Volcano incentivized, so the chest that's behind the normal red dragon on carry floor is an incentive check. So I wonder if he's going to just be making his way down there, see if he can see what it is, and then you know, make a decision whether it's worth trying to get it out or not. I don't know if he's seen it already or not.
I don't know if he's checked these. I don't know if he's gotten as far down last time and checked the other boxes. I would probably check some boxes with the thief, but I understand the principle. You know, it definitely is incentivized. So go ahead, check that red B chest.
Yeah, he got caught. I don't know what spike tile it was, but it was the Agama red giant tile, and that wiped him last time he was in there. And I don't know where it was, so that might be scaring him from checking anything else.
See what level 5 affords us. Life and heal 3. Good investment at level 5.
Oh, Gregory Puff, you are correct. This is Omar's Nuke at level 5. Good to see you and everyone in chat, joined by Duchess for Kaio-sama. We've got Danny in the background doing the tracking. We got Demon Frog taking care of restream for us. So, hoping everyone out there is having a good night tonight.
Absolutely.
So here we're going to see the incentive check. It's the loot. So this is interesting.
Definitely.
He knows it's here. He's got exit, so he doesn't care. He's gone. Perfect. I was going to say, if he doesn't have exit in that situation, that's actually a good thing to know, because it doesn't lead you to progression. And you can just come down and get it once you're ready to, because it is one of those required items to beat the game. Also, now we got JMan. He's turned that.
Katana -3 in Crystal.
Yeah, turned in the Ruby. Got
Drew will want that at some point.
It's gonna walk over to Sparta now, see what the old man in the cave has for us.
Yes, indeed.
That katana is a little lacking, especially if you're Drewlith. When you see that, we were talking about needing a really, really good weapon. You're banking on Masa being plus something at this time, because that katana.
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah, the katana, while good in that situation, it's still gonna have pretty good crit. The thief always has great hit percentage, so he gets a lot of hits, but that minus will do a little bit to the damage on it, so he's gonna be hoping for a Masa that rolls pretty decent.
You got a good point. I mean, the katana will still average out to be fine if that's all he has to work with, but yeah, you need that Masa. Fingers crossed.
If you're running up, it's going to be a 42 black belt. You need all the firepower you got to keep pace.
And not a penny less.
And then some in a lot of cases.
So, the good news of Heal 3 coming up. White Magic and JMan is going to see another.
So we've got in level 3 here, we see Invis 3. That's going to work towards Drewlith here because that will be white locked. So JMan's not going to have access to that. So at least if anything gets really, really punchy and is super physical, Drewlith's going to have the evasion to be able to withstand that with all those Invis 2 casts.
Ooh, that's very true. And JMan can't use caster items no matter what, so.
And as we're saying all of this, Drewlith says, you know what? I want a black belt too, and hires one out.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. I mean, when you're looking at the cards that are stacked, you can either say, you know what, I'm going to go all in, or you can go home. And he was like, there's actually a middle ground. As JMan.
Yeah, there's our floater. That's huge.
Fingers crossed on Masa. There's always something good here. Fingers crossed. Don't do me wrong. Don't do me 3 gold. And nothing. You get nothing. Congratulations.
I'm interested that Drewlith started with the take 2 white mages to begin with. I wonder if that was something he was thinking of doing in terms of a second line, but I really think row 2 makes a lot of sense for him. So I think he's kind of looked at that and seen that and said, you know what, I can abandon column 4 because it's another fairly easy one. Mind you, he can at the end of the game, as long as he puts a second white mage back in his party, it'll still count. But I wonder if he's going to go the row 2 route instead of column 4 route. Meanwhile, JMan.
I don't know. I mean, it just. I'm just weighing up the options. You know, it's like.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see which way he wants to go.
That's very true.
Meanwhile, JMan making an absolute beeline towards the Yukon Desert with that whole floater in hand to be able to get into the air here just at the 23-minute mark.
Look, that's pretty much it. And I mean, the thing is, this is not to say, oh, JMan's, way better than Drew. It's just you gamble when you're going into rando no matter what. And they went on the 3-man, boom, boom, boom. And it's paying off very well. It could have been the complete opposite. It could have been level 1, It could have just been the complete opposite, just tons of stacked spells, and Drew's party could have been off the chain with just, katana +5. So it's really just a matter of, in the beginning, JMan made some good plays, or rather just, I guess, it worked out to his advantage. So it's looking like right now he's got a good advantage. But that's not to say things can't change, right? Drew has the right components as well, so at least he's piecing it together.
Yeah, the big thing for Drew at this point in time is he needs to buy the Ruby out of Corneria. That's what's holding everything back. So
That's true.
He's got to remember that that's not, once he gets that, he's going to really be moving in the right direction. Drew is also massacring bats, which is fantastic to see.
Absolutely. Sometimes they just gotta go.
Here's one of the 3 different slimes that exist. This is one of his required tiles, so it makes sense that he's checking and gonna take care of all of these scums.
With lit 3.
Yeah, scums have really, really high physical absorb, but their magic defense is really lacking. So any sweeper, even a level 2 sweeper, will almost always take care of them.
Especially that fire.
Oh yeah, fire burn good.
Exploration. As we see 385 on the screen, and we are at Ice Cave popping a tent because that's what we have to do. And the mad begins.
So JMan is going to make the run through and check out what the incentive here is. In Ice, he's got both exit and warp, so this can be a very, very fast trip if he wants it to be. Just check that incentive and then bail.
I mean, you're not, look, this is what J-Man is, this is what, I guess, this party promotes that. You know, Black Belt doesn't need anything. It doesn't need things like, okay, if you find a ribbon, that's great, but it becomes a ribbon by level 42, level 50 MDef anyway. So I'll just be a ribbon by my own virtue. And the Black Belt is there solely for using what? Level 3 nuke?
It was level 5 nuke. He's got
level 5, exactly. He's got level 5 warp.
Level 5
and the red mage just has, you know, utility because it can use life 2, etc., etc. So you're not worried about too much stuff. And if you need to towards the end of the game or before you make a run, you can take 2-3 minutes to check some places out with box density. You know, go to Volcano, blah blah blah. You know, we know nothing's there. So
yeah. Very smart. He got a few levels, bailed out, saved. He's going to try it again. So
that's a good approach, especially when you can't use houses.
Yeah, it's because you're not able to recharge your magic charges, but you know, you can take what you can get. At least you can get the levels and hold on to them, which is huge for a black belt because the black belt really doesn't start coming online until about 21.
Yeah.
Once it hits level 21, it's 6 hits, and then it can start doing some things by itself. So having a full party to be able to take care of the black belt and help baby him along until 21, that's fine. Yeah,
Single. Getting Brad.
And as chat's pointing out here, yeah, J-Man isn't technically in go mode yet because he hasn't found the loot, although we do know it is in Volcano. He hasn't been there. But Drew did go down into Volcano, found that loot, and I believe he pulled it out and saved it. So I do believe he's got it.
Let's see what we get today.
We got Adamant.
That'll be a box. Please, still another.
So, J-Man has to do every trap tile in Ice Cave. I guess he doesn't feel good about that at this point in time. Maybe it was just a magic charge thing. I can see him going back and taking care of the other ones on the lower side as well as the eye tile that he has left to do. Because I know he took care of the mage tile.
Looks like he went back in. Get it done while you can. You gotta push through. Just like when you were in practice for sports when you were young, coach said, don't quit. Gotta keep doing it. So he's definitely the approaches. Drew's got some peds on the bottom, and that would be great EXP.
see if we can take a look and get an idea of HP out of them. The low roll is from Lit 3, so that doesn't give us a great estimation.
It can't feel good, unfortunately, right now for the black. But the black mage does have the right equipment, at least, to be able to give it a good go. Excuse me, the black.
Okay, so we're looking at about around 200-ish HP for them, so they're not horrible. Thief goes down, which I don't think he's going to complain about, because that means more experience shuffled over to that black belt.
There you go, level 10. Life 2 is your
Yeah, Life 2 is your friend. Meanwhile, J-Man dealing with a gigantic pack of wizards who are throwing all sorts of things. Stunning him, dazzling him, flashing him.
Just imagine, if you had a lamp, you would be able to see.
I know, this is why lamp is king. Oh no, he gets wiped.
Oh no. This should be a lesson to all of you at home. Don't go all without a lamp. You see Link do it sometimes, and then you realize, you know what? We're not glitching the game this time. He's also going to get a lamp. So, just saying.
You're playing this wrong if you're not using lamp as soon as you get done.
I go out of my way to find it at level 8.
If needed, you have to. It's super important.
We find Fade at level 6, which is manageable. I mean, for Drew's party, they're going to be incentivized to already get to at least level. They got the black belt, so actually that works in their favor. The interesting thing is they're going to have to spend some time finding equipment.
Yeah, and that Drew's party, now with the addition of the black belt, means that he can take care of not having to worry about it so much, because one of his requirements is hitting level 40 on a character. So, you know, that black belt's going to hit 42 at some point too, which is going to alleviate the need to find extra.
Yeah, but he's got that knight as well, though. Does that make sense? And
yeah, he's probably going to want a meat shield. So we saw J-Man, who's required to take care of every trap tile in ice. He got bounced out by 4 very, very beefy red dragons. So
that'll happen.
Oh, he did trade that black belt in for that fighter. Huh. Guess he's hoping for damage that way, or maybe I've seen this done with a lot of people, is they will grind up a fighter to that level 21 level when the black belt really starts making a real impact, and then going back and changing it so that he can really hold his own on the solo grind.
But does it get like the value of the MDef automatically, or no?
I can honestly say I have no clue.
Because if it does, then it just makes sense to swap out like that, right?
Yeah, I believe.
If you're not getting the true value, you're losing some things, then you are taking that risk.
Yeah, hopefully someone in chat can point that out. Yeah, that was my. I believe it's that it just instantly becomes what that level would be.
Oh wow!
So he would get those stats, because that would be crazy if, say, you started with a fighter and you got super beefy, and then you changed it into a, I don't know.
That's ridiculous. You could do anything, and then at the last second, like, all right, guys, we're all just gonna be black belts today.
everything's getting punched.
What? Oh my goodness. The possibilities are endless. And that is why when you have the time, you should check out Final Fantasy Randomizer and get on. Download this bad boy, spin it up for yourself, and have some fun. And check out the Discord when you get a chance.
Yeah, the community is fantastic. This is a great place to be. Everyone's super welcoming. Everyone really likes you. Another wipe, unfortunately, for JMan. Yeah, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. It's got all the good things.
That's it. Yeah, the community is the best thing about FF Rando. There's so many Rando communities and they're all loved, but the best part about FF1 Rando is you can drop in whenever you want. And life goes on as it does. I mean, this game came out 30 plus years ago. Life goes on. But if you ever need to just be like, you know what, let me hop back into a booth or be a restreamer or even just, talk to people. It's always here. FF1 Rando isn't going anywhere. And that's the best I can find in this community. It's awesome to just know. Nothing's going to change. The people aren't going to change. We'll all be here. Randoing it up.
Yeah, this place is fantastic. This is my first day back after like a 7-8 month hiatus. And yeah, legit. And everyone was just like, hey, you're back. Awesome. I missed you. And it was really nice to see everyone being so supportive as they were. So it's awesome.
That's the way. And it's like you're in the booth just like it was yesterday, So not missing a beat.
It's one of those things as you sit back, you watch it, you enjoy it. Even if I wasn't actively participating in stuff due to life, I always try to find a way to watch and catch this stuff because, like you said, there are so many great people that you get to make connections with, and hearing and talking to them periodically is always great.
That's it.
So we've got some levels here from JMan. He took care of a couple tiles and he's backed his way out now.
Yep, got some Agamas. Took down some Agamas, so hopefully chat had their facts thrown in there. But it looked like he took out some Agamas to get some levels.
Yeah, that's that Agama red giant tile that he's seen before. This time having a few more levels, being able to take care of it, which is nice, and he's running right back in there to do it again.
That's the grind. I mean, that's the grind right there, especially if you know the HP. You're going to be able to yield off of that for quite a bit. Those Agamas look slightly beefy.
Yeah, I think they're all right around the 300 hit point mark, between 225 to 3. I'm not sure because we've gotten some pretty big casts of stuff, but
that's what I'm saying. The ranges, we don't know, but you're probably right on that averages.
Yeah, I mean, Ice 3 is going to make this pretty trivial. It looks like 2 casts and it's all taken care of. And
that's
here's the unfortunate thing for JMan, no houses, so every single time he wants to recharge stuff, back in the ship, back to the crescent, back to the end.
You think it's not an inconvenience, people, but it's like when you're playing your favorite SNES game and then you're just dropping a frame just for no reason. You're just like, oh, I'm telling you. And it's that equivocal. You drop that many frames in a speed run, next thing you know, I lost 1.2 seconds off my game.
Yeah, and the other thing too is we saw an unfortunate thing happen in the race last night between Caleb and Rojo, where it's because it is such muscle memory for these runners. They've been playing this for so long and they know the strategies so well. I want to do this, I'm getting in, I'm burning these charges, I'm houses, I'm running back in. And then all of a sudden to have something that forces you to think differently, you literally have to fight yourself to not do it.
It's very true. I mean, I grew up in the US and I live over here in Australia and got my license, I drive, but been out here 7 years and every time I drive, I still just want to make the right. And if I make the right, y'all won't ever hear me on comms again, so...
Opposite side of the road.
So I can completely understand that sentiment. When it's engraved, it's just there. You gotta fight the habit, and you just for one split second just go and push the button on the house, and then you have a penalty.
Yeah. So we're gonna do our best to be vigilant to make sure we can keep everybody honest on this chat. If you see something, I know no narcs, but it's for the greater good. I know that sounds terrible, but Rules are rules, people.
That's it. Now, what we have is J-Man actually getting down his party members to very low, besides the black belt, because now the black belts are nearing 21 to where it can handle the bulk of what it needs to do. Or if nothing else, just kill off the black belt. You've got the value out of the black belt once it's got level 5. So if it can nuke, that's fine. You don't really, I mean, of course you care about nuke. It's funny for me to say you don't care about nuke though, right? Like, of course you care about nuke, but
nuke is fantastic because when you're doing that Topher run, you run into that 8-pack of bad men or something like that. Nuke comes out and can just take care of what would be a really long, annoying encounter, or the seafood party pack on Kraken floor.
Oh, seafood party pack.
You know, that having a nuke just makes life so much easier for that. It's not that the black belt would die from it, it would take so long to punch 8 things.
So it's like, and that's why I feel you're absolutely right. And in this type of, I guess, battle, especially with J-Man's party, just getting the black mage to a point where, okay, you have nuke. That's all you need. You've got 2 charges of nuke. We're good.
Yeah, at that point, it's pretty much...
Yeah. Even through the walking grind, you know? At some point, if they bring it back up, if they elect to, through the walking grind, it should probably get another charge or 2, since that's level 5.
Yeah, and I'm sure with a 3-man party, just natural fights, even the fights going down to Topher, you're going to get a few levels anyway. So we'll see what happens. But, those Higamas are hitting pretty tough. So, you know, the HP value is dropping pretty quick. We're down to 20 heal pots here, so this grind's maybe got 1 or 2 more fights left, and then the very scary walkout.
It has to be done.
Well, on Drewlith's side, he's been going around taking care of... He still hasn't bought that ruby out of Corneria. That is locking all of his progress at this point in time.
It's so heartbreaking to see that too, because it's just one thing you don't think about, like, oh yeah, the vendor item isn't in Corneria, and then you find out later it's in Corneria.
Yeah, it's unfortunate at this point in time for him, but you know, he's running out of checks at this point in time. So, you know, he's got to be thinking that something's up.
He's heading in the right direction. He's going left, so hopefully his ship is parked down.
Yeah, I think his ship was at a point. I can't recall. We'll find out here in a second.
Temper fast. There you go. And ooh, you can't learn it. So J-Man's gonna take an L, unfortunately.
Yeah, and for him, I think he's gonna go the column 2 of the never promote route, so he's definitely gonna be locked out of those, but a level 42 black belt doesn't need a heck of a lot of extra.
42 or 50 black belt just pretty much does the job. Just like, yep, just hold A, mate.
And here we go. Drew has gone into Corneria. He has picked up that ruby. This is going to lead to the he needs to get him back online here.
This is the time where there's a commentator's bless. There's not always a commentator's curse, right?
We don't always have to put out negative things. We can put out positive vibes. Remember the
Absolutely.
Remember look at this.
544 on those Agamas, but they still crunching it a little bit.
Yeah, they hit hard. Ooh, oh, he got it. Oh, turn order was so critical there, and he just
You know what the small, very minute, but very grand beauty of this game is? The heal pot only does 30. That's it. Hit 99 pots, but the heal pot only does 30. That's it. There's no high potions. We don't have elixirs just go around. Phoenix Downs don't exist. It's just you got the heal pod.
Yeah, that was, and at least in this, we've put on the ability to buy quantity, because
Oh my
if you
goodness.
played vanilla, buying 99 heal pots just sitting in the menu was so
When's the
long.
last time you've played vanilla? It's so slow. Like I can't even watch a vanilla speedrun. They're just going click, 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 just walking.
Yeah, it's. I can say before I saw this randomizer, I beat vanilla somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and something times, just because
Yeah, I
it
was
was
playing
good as
about
a
30.
kid.
About 30.
I remember the first time I saw the randomizer, my first thought was, "Oh my god, they're moving so fast and screwing each other so
Exactly.
quickly."
And then they went into a shop, and then I saw like the magic was all messed up. I was like,
Yeah, there's so many cool flags that you can turn on and off to make this game
oh
place
my
1,000 different ways, and all of them have their challenges, and that it's fantastic.
But I digress as we watch some grinding go on JMan's side. So where Drew's gonna explore, not because of necessarily the Ruby, but more because of party composition, etc., etc. JMan's gonna spend just this period of time on the grind. But then once JMan's at that 42, or the way they're going with this with the EXP, I might think about just going all the way to 50. Just be a ribbon, because you're not looking for anything. It's already level 35. I might just go level 50.
Yeah, and JMan,
everything else. Oh,
for JMan, the funny thing is, if he dips this dungeon and goes down into the incentivized chest behind the red D chest, he's in go mode. He needs nothing else for his bingo tiles. All the orbs are already lit. He'll have loot and key. He'd be good to go. So if he makes that choice and just says, "I'm already here, I'm gonna check out what the incentive here is," he's gonna be smiling big time, because it'll be here we go right off the top.
that's it.
You know, level 42 plus black belt go mode. He'll light up the rest of those tiles in not even 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. The crystal.
Yeah, Drew going in, he's gonna get his crystal and then go over to Sarda and get the, I can't remember if it was the TNT or the adamant, was one of them, but they turned into floater, that's all that mattered.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was TNT into floater. Thank you, Danny. Again, our fantastic tracker working in the background. Also, we got Demon Frog restreaming, making sure everybody can see and hear everything. Again, I'm Ilmar Zubermuller, joined here with Duchess for Kai Osama. 2021 Winter Dab Tournament. Winner of this progresses on the winner's side. They get the lovely, lovely meeting with Lord Fizzlebeef. I was looking at that. That's not a fun, like, second round matchup right off to go.
Oh, it'd be great to watch, but to play against LFB, left front bumper, oh my gosh. That's
veteran runner who's super, super good and knows his stuff inside and out, is a challenge for everyone. And
it's like he's one of those guys that's just, when the game is going on, he can do like variable calculations in a randomizer. Shout out if you're listening to me.
Yeah, last chance qualifier winner with the infamous TFC chest in the 2020 spring tournament, which was a heck of a match. It was so fun to watch. I had the pleasure of calling one of them, and Fizzle came out of the like 16 people or whatever it was to get that final spot into brackets. I mean, he's legit no joke, and so whomever gets out of this is definitely going to have their hands full.
Absolutely, but no one in this tournament is a slouch, you know? And I mean, that's the cool thing about this. That's the cool thing about it. It's just like, oh, yep, I'm not a slouch at this game. Let's throw some bingo on it. More variability on variability.
If anyone had the opportunity, just before this, our new Duckling Derby, which is essentially the boot camp that runs to show new players how to play the game, and then they hold a tournament to kind of see it. It's completely for fun. Everyone just gets an opportunity to play in a tournament setting, and that the amount of ducklings that came out of this particular group are probably going to scare, and I know they do in talking and hearing some of the other veterans in this community. This crop of ducklings that came through was no joke.
That's what you love to hear, and it's just, you build them and then spit them out, and then they go into the world and body you in the tournament. Literally, it's like, well, grasshopper one day, but I'm sorry, mate, I'm the new generation.
Yeah, it really is, and that's what we're saying in this community is so welcoming, and that like really, they really show the ropes to not, there's no hidden tricks, there's no nothing. It's, if you have any questions, you have any thoughts, anything, it will be explained to you fully by multiple people. And here we go. JMan made the play, went all the way down to the bottom, gets that loot. He's in go mode. He all he needs to do at this point in time is finish out those tiles and get ready for you're getting punched 2,000 years even farther in the past.
That's it. Wake up and actually does good this time. Like, you know what? Let me put my faculties to good use.
So we're gonna start the tile check by doing the Walk the Hall of Giants, which if no one's familiar with, on the left side here on Earth 1, there's about 12, 14 steps, which are all guaranteed encounters, which usually have giants on them, but with random encounters. You see that they're perilous and fires. You have to make it all the way through all the mandatory trap tiles, and then we can check off that Walk the Hall of Giants tile on the bingo board.
It's the OG gauntlet for sure. We all remember as kids, it was like, all right, you know what time it is. Get that level 50 black belt. Once you crack the code, the first time I didn't know anything about the black belt. I'm like, I'm not using that. I'm using magic. What? And then you learn the game as you get a little older. For someone hit like, nope. Black belt to 42, then hit him with the ribbon. You're like, huh? Change.
I played this. I always ran a black belt, and for so many years I was so confused. I was like, why does he do such little damage, and why is his only weapon an iron nunchuck? This guy is useless. And I finally realized if you unequip him, he's all of a sudden a god. I was like, this game, and I didn't know you can just let him punch things, and that makes complete sense.
Crazy. It's like basically when Goku takes off his gi, he's like, oh, by the way, that weighs like 100,000 tons, bro. Like, you didn't know? Oh, I was just fighting you at battle level, man. Like, I'm way stronger than this. Like, huh? I never knew.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things that, like, and that's the great thing about this randomizer. If you are super familiar with vanilla, you'd know that there are a lot of things that didn't work, unfortunately, or didn't work as intended, and this randomizer fixes all of those little issues. So it's fantastic to get to play this game in, the way it was really intended to be done.
Shout out to Crit Rate.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lock. Like, what?
Yeah, it's incredible. Shout out to Exfer.
Shout out to Exfer, seriously.
So here we see Drew is going through all of Cardia. I wonder what he's looking for at this point in time while JMan finishes out the Hall of Giants.
Well, I mean, going by his moniker, I'm new, go easy. I feel like right now he's just, exploring the map. I remember when I was new, pretty newish, and I started putting my hands on the rando. The first big challenge that really I needed to get my head around was the world map. Just navigating it without having like a map layouts just crutch back on, clicking a button. You had to figure out, not only where stuff was, but also the optimal walk routes, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks like, he knows where he's going. It just looks like, it honestly looks like how I felt when I first started playing the game. It's like, all right, I've got my bearings. I've definitely played about 30 rounds, but every now and again, you might make a little mistake. So, but you learn the process. You have fun because you're playing a video game that's like was created 30 something, and we're still getting value. That's the best part. It's like it's not the Super Bowl. This is FF1 Rando. We're all having fun.
Wait, we don't get paid for this? Well, I have been grossly misinformed.
One day you'll request our services in Bitcoin, but
apparently it's Dogecoin now, though. Come on, Bitcoin. What is this?
Bitcoin broke over 50,000. Shout out to those who have wallets, but looks like who's gonna get his body right and decide to level up the game.
Yeah, so he's not worried about that column 2.
Nope.
Which he couldn't anyway because he didn't take 1 none, so never promote was never an issue for him.
JMan's going back down in the ice, clearing that up.
Yeah, these red D's are pushing over.
You just punch, go fast, no, and you're just 1448. Granted, it's a red D, but still, it's a red D, and you're doing that. You feel
it was a red D that had over 300 hit points because it resisted the quad X, so it definitely had some hit points, but I feel like even at its best scaling, I think that black belt could punch through it.
I believe yes.
So he's just going to clear up the last trap tile. Here he's just got to go down to the Frost Wolf room, take care of that.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we got Drew, who's doing some cleaning up of his own, picking up some items, making sure everything's ready for him to move forward. He's going to have to start hitting his grind at this point.
Definitely. It's getting to that point for sure, where things are consolidating and you know the big picture, so you just got to grind, get it done.
Actually, that's a good point, Classic Gamer. I don't know if he did the eye tile. I know it's arachnids or spiders because I know for sure Drew checked it by doing the warp trick from the mage tile over into it. So it looks like he's gonna, if he's walking, that means he hasn't. So he's gonna clean up that last tile, which is a nothing tile anyway.
Checkarooski. The ooh.
Oh, this is good actually for Drew. This is one of the 3 slimes.
Part of the slime family.
So I'm pretty sure that's 2 for Drew now. I believe he got scums and them, so if he finds mucks or metal slimes, he's good to go.
Got some people. Definitely at this point, but they're over about 300. I think we surmised
between like 250 and 300. I think it was, yeah. Here, J-Man's got to find 3 lizards. He's taking care of Agamas. Looks like he's coming over here looking for Sarias.
Hey. Did he already smash out some iguanas?
I think that would be the 3rd one he needs to get. I don't recall if he saw them or not. Oh, there they are. There's those Sarias. So at this point, it's... Oh no, he says he's got all 3. He just clicked it off, so...
Quick.
So that means that he's done it. That means he took care of an iguana earlier, so... He's ready to go. He's got his 2 lines lit. It's Topher time, baby.
Now, do we have a short or long Topher?
It is a full Topher. But again, having all the orbs already meant you didn't have to worry about taking care of them.
Okay. That's interesting. They've got life too, so you're good. And you always go to Topher with 99 heal pots anyway. So
yeah, he's also got the ultimate weapon in the 40-something black belt, so who cares?
Whoa, J-Man, I hope you got heal pots, bro. You over there saving real quick. I surmise you do.
I think I just got a glimpse. It looked like 88, so he should be fine.
You know, we haven't seen Ribbon.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I haven't seen Cow.
his natural MF will be fine.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Hey, man.
but there's 3 and 256 has happened to all of us at one point or another.
You live long enough, you gonna get hit with the 3 and 256. Like, oh no!
Ribbon or not, it don't matter sometimes.
Exactly.
So we've got Drew. He's into on-rack at this point in time. He's unfortunately got to find his cube still. He got the Oxyale out of Earth, but we're looking for a cube because he needs to kill Tiamat 1. So, this is the unfortunate thing and the greatness of forcing certain things on your opponent. The more key items you can force someone to have to find, the harder it becomes for them to deal with it.
That's true. You can take an aggressive, okay. That actually is a very good point, because you could force someone into, okay, no matter what you do, your playstyle has to be really on the edge. And you can say, okay, as a trade-off for me having to play this way, you just have to find all these items.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone got a chance to see the match yesterday, Rojo and Caleb, Rojo was forced to have to kill Kraken, Tiamat, and Lich, and find a Masmune. So there was 5 extra items that he had to find, which really made things more difficult for him.
Yes, it does. Find a singular item in a box. Have fun.
Thankfully, we've mitigated that a bit with these flags where there is no random items. Everything's at incentive locations, which is nice.
But it's still in a box.
Yeah, where it is, sort of, but you still have to go through all of them and find it.
Exactly. And that's just the nature. It's still in some box somewhere. It's like, okay, fine, Masa. I mean, you can find it early, but still, it's going down the fetch chain. It's the worst.
While we were talking about that, something in a purple coat showed up and got punched into oblivion, I think. Because JMan's on the fire floor, so I assume
Drew is Drew, isn't he? Oh, the slab.
Oh, slab. Ugh. More fetch quests to have to find that cube.
Ouch. Where was the cube?
We don't know yet.
We don't know, actually.
Yeah, it's behind. I think at this point it's got to be slab turns to crown turns to cube, which is just a horrendously long fetch quest to be able to kill Tia1. We've got a Kraken 2 pull here on J-Man's side, the first real boss, because Carry 2 did the same thing. Kraken starts off with Fire 3 after getting punched for about 1,000 damage, and then the fast goes off because turn order.
That's the last you've ever seen of that.
Yeah, and then the black belt got mad.
Hey, just like, that's the last thing you've ever seen of that. Like, what were you saying? Never mind.
Yeah. The black belt got insulted that it lived through the first punch and absolutely destroyed him the second.
It's literally just like, hey, can you cast fast, bro? It's like, yeah, I can do that. It's like, all right, thanks, man. And then that's it. That's it. What are you guys doing? Oh, we'll wait.
They don't have to do anything at that point. They just cast fast and go, we got this.
It's like having a level 15, level 16 sorcerer in D&D. It's like, don't worry, guys. I got this. I'll just run out of nowhere. Smite someone.
Alright, we got a Tia full here. We got punch, fast, wait. Oh, Tia's like, fast, I can do that. And he gets punched for actually only about 480, so... And fast was off after because torn order.
Never seen pixels go off the screen faster.
And then again, the black belt got insulted that it lived through the first punch and ended it.
This is a textbook course in the brand old use the black belt scheme. What do you mean we're not promoting?
Yeah. I always love thinking of it from the team's perspective. They're like, I'm this great warrior, here I am, I'm so incredible, and this dude just walks up and punches him in the face. It's like, sit down, child.
Do you see how disrespectful this is, chat? JMan didn't set anything up. He's like, oh, we throwing fade. Disrespectful. Oh my good. Well, GG. As I'm talking.
Defense.
The party's clapping their hands.
There we go. It's over. Black belt punch. GG, James.
You know what? Never mind. As I was talking about disrespect, it was disrespectful for me to even say that about JMan's strategy when he just. If Chaos was the enemy, I would say that was actually really foul, but he is the enemy, so that's how quick it was.
Yeah, that's just pure raw power and aggression out of that black belt, and that's if you're ever forced in these to take a hit level 40 on a character, everyone's pulling the black belt for that because this is what happens when you do.
Push A, push the button, done. Push the button.
Hold A, and congratulations, you win.
And speaking of a congratulatory, as I pull the... We've got ourselves JMan in the booth. Congratulations on that clinic. That was punch, punch, punch. Everything gets dissolved.
That was probably the easiest Topher I've ever had to deal with.
We were commenting that you decided in that there was absolutely no point to do anything defensive. You were even waiting with your red mage at Kraken and Tiamat, just like, it's all good, he's got this.
Yeah, actually, I even dawned on that. I've filled up on heal pots, but I didn't realize I had like one heal potion or one heal spell for all of my guys for the entire fight.
It's you found that Agama red giant tile, you settled in, and that was it for you. Was it just a case of the first pretty decent tile I find in game, and I'm going for it?
Oh, absolutely. Especially having to get up to 40 with that on my forced line. It was like, I've got to find something that's got good XP, and that was a little sketchy. I think I actually wiped the first time I hit that patch.
You did.
Yeah,
but
and then getting back.
Yourself off, you got it.
Yeah, I got my casters a little higher than probably absolutely necessary, but I wanted to make sure I had enough HP on the black belt to get him up there.
And then also, we were commenting on this as soon as this bingo board was released and we were looking at this. We both pretty much clued in that column 2 seemed to be the most opportune for you. Was that the same thing with yourself? As soon as you kind of took a minute and looked over this, you went, boy, this just makes the absolute no sense.
Oh, for sure, because having to hit 40, it's always best never to promote your black belt until you hit about 40 anyway. Take 1 none, fits with a black belt. 5 bats in marsh, that's simple. And then 3 lizards, that was the last thing I had to do is go chase down a Saria.
overall, I mean, we were also kind of discussing this. We looked at the bracket. You get the pleasure of dealing with one Lord Fizzlebeef after. Had any experience with that at this point yet, or looking forward to that?
I don't know. I'm looking forward, but yeah, it's not really that big of a prize to go up against such a heavy hitter.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it is in every single one of these brackets, though. That every single time, if you get the opportunity to win, that there's someone big standing at the end waiting for you on the other side of the door, right?
Yeah, because I mean, this isn't like the spring tournament will be with like 60, 70 people. It's pretty much once you get to that top 10, it's all heavy.
But you know what? I mean, it's like the come up story, right? It's always better to take out a giant, right? So, and if nothing else, like you're having fun, and the best part about these is when you're playing, you get to learn twice, right? Because you're learning as you 100%. But then when you watch the VOD, you see what you did versus what your opponent did in the same seed. So it's like assessing logic twice. So much fun.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's actually one of those, when I was doing all my tests, what seems like not that big is that middle square that casts a spell of every element in battle. That is really tough to do.
We were also commenting that pretty much all of them that say that you have to use a spell. In theory, that sounds so easy until you get one of that Quake or that Bane or that Brack or the non-elemental nuke or Fade. All of a sudden, that rolls level 8. Yeah, that's a lot of time investment especially in a mage to get up to that and then walk over and find it and get it and be able to cast it.
Yeah, because that's, I mean, one of the nastiest tricks about that is that's 9 different spells, and Earth Elemental, the only option is Quake.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes, it seems so simple. It's like, oh, I cast spells all the time. It's like, just trying to find the right ones.
And you have to get the ones nobody wants to cast, like Dark, Slow, for the status elements.
Yeah. And of course, it always feels like invariably one of those rolls into Lefane as well. So it's like, oh, I have to walk all the way over there to get that. Meanwhile, while we're going about this, let's not forget Drewlith is finishing out his run here. He's taking care of the trap tiles here in Ice Cave, so he's going to try and light that one up. It should be done in the very near future. I think he's only got one more left, because I know he did do the eye tile where he saw those spiders earlier.
Yep. As we can see, it is finito. Went green.
Perfect. So now he's
checking the boxes always feels good. That's for sure.
And he went with a very different party comp than your own, which unfortunately for him hasn't paid off, because when you're doing that hit to level 40, that black belt just makes so much sense, unfortunately, that he went with something different. But I mean, he'll make it work. He'll make it happen. And then, as I know you didn't finish out a heck of a lot of quest items because you had no point to. You were in go mode almost right off the hop.
Yeah, I lucked out because I was like, oh, well, I'm here at the Foggy Handle. Let me just go and check that item. And, oh, it's the loot. Awesome.
Yeah, so you had key and loot right off the bat, and there was... and not needing anything to be able...
Yeah, so because by that point I was like already with like a level 40 black belt. I'm in go mode, and it's like, okay, well, go walk the hall, go get the trap tiles, and go get that Saria.
Saria. Hovering on the screen for a second, maybe collecting some thoughts.
Yeah, if I remember right, Drew's one of the newer runners, so I was doing a really good job so far for what I can see.
I'm clicking buttons left and right, so my bad, y'all.
And yeah, the other not hateful thing was the no cabin, or use no cabins and houses, and it's like every shop, no tents for you.
that was the very first thing that we talked about, especially as we were saying that this coming off the heels of the unfortunateness of the Rojo Caleb match from last night. That it would really suck to see someone lose to that if they weren't.
I'm not going to say that was fresh in my mind or anything, but
yeah, no, that probably made it a little easier for yourself.
Luckily, I had tried a couple of practice seats in practice, taking nothing but 10s, but like I say, man, it was just rough not having any of these town shops with 10s.
Yeah, and
if I remember right, I had to sneak over to the Caravan.
Yeah.
We did actually.
And also just as we were saying, like it's not so much that tile is hard per se. It's just that it's such muscle memory that I'm doing this grind, I'm exiting out, I'm refilling my charges by hitting a house, and then I'm walking back in to continue my grind. And you have to physically force yourself.
I literally had a little sticky note next to my screen about no house, no cabins.
That's a great way to make sure you don't mess up.
No cast items, since that was another on my must-do column, or row.
Yeah, at least that one's a little... I found that one a little bit easier, because at least when you have to go... It's not the same muscle memory for it, but still, I bet after seeing level 1 magic, and even level 2 magic, you were probably thinking, like, I really wish I could use a caster item, and then thankfully level 3 came through with 2 big sweepers.
Oh, it did, yeah, no doubt.
Level 2 is fantastic for red mage, though, because getting all the white spells that you had at level 2 was...
Yeah, and that was, the funny part is we picked our lines before we saw the blurses on the classes, and it's like, when it was like, I'm like, I need a white mage because I need to be able to make sure I can do stuff. It's like, oh, red mage has white mage spells. I just take the red because I find a Masa, now I have a functional white mage and swings like a puncher.
Can't beat that.
Although I did forget about the, I think, minus 30 HP when he got one-shotted first thing. I'm like, what? Did he have death touch? And I'm like, oh no, he only had 1 HP. Oops.
Yeah. What are you going to do at the start? Sometimes these can be really annoying when you have certain bonuses and malices that affect things like that. But, once it's line, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, get a couple levels, get him some HP, give him some armor, he'd be good to go.
Sorry for that, y'all. The ship on the water just decided to blare its horn. So.
Oh, did I see Drew actually started with 2 white mages? So did he swap one out?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, he did. He's changed his party probably 3 or 4 times now. He initially started out with fighter, double white, black mage, and then a black belt came in for a while, and then that went away, and now fighter has come in for a while now. So... he's been mixing it up a bit here and there.
Unfortunately, what I cursed him with is going to put him up in Sky, so hopefully you'll find a Masa for that fighter.
Yeah, the other thing, he also has to go to 40, and we were talking about this too, is I know a strategy that some people use is the black belt is sort of dead weight up until it really gets its 6 hit at 21, which is when it really starts being able to hold its own. So I've seen a lot of strategies with people where when they have pub turned on, that they'll get a fighter to get up to 21 or a little bit above, and then you can swap in that black belt and it'll already be able to take care of itself pretty well.
Oh yeah, that's a valid strategy. I lucked out because I kind of just went from that from the start and found, I think it was like a +3 iron chuck, so at least he could do some damage early on.
Yeah, they're also like +3 large knives or something, at least 2. So there was something that they could be.
Yeah, everybody could swing for something at least.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which became really, really good because, as we said, the first couple levels of black magic was please be back hit.
Yeah, no sweepers at all. Yeah, I remember having to do all the pirates individually because I didn't have any sweepers.
Ouch.
If only that melee the pirates down flag was on square was there, you'd been like, no, I have no choice about this anyway, so...
Yep.
Cast a spell.
Oh, nice. Got it all done.
Got that. So that's ridiculous.
Up with the last one. That's fantastic. That's a really tough square to go with. And you don't know this either, but this defeating Tiamat 1 is an absolute nightmare. Because it is the world's longest fetch quest chain to even get the cube. It is last items been hidden behind like 6 different items. But he still has to turn the slab into a crown to then get a cube.
It's no slouch. So J-Man, any thoughts? I mean, you know what you got to do. You're going into the next round. So, what's on your mind for the next match?
I mean, this is such a thing with the bingo that it's like almost all the preparation you can do doesn't matter until you see what that board rolls out for you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, actually. You can't really practice like doubles or even the spring tournament, or it's just know the game and then away you go.
Yeah, and almost in some ways, know what the bad lines are and try to throw your opponent on that and try to come up, like, say with this one's like take the none, never promote, and 40 on 1. Well, that pretty much put me in column 2 right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Look for your synergies.
We've got Drew putting some things together right now.
Ugh, and my prediction of it being all that is wrong because that turned into a soft potion, which means that he's got ordeals left, as Danny is pointing out, which is going to lead to crown, which will then lead to cube.
Oh man, that is brutal.
The classic, you hate to see it.
And this is showing that he's, as he says, he knows he's a new runner and he's not overly familiar with things. And so you see that he's taking his time to think about it, but that's good that he's going through that mental checklist, making sure that he's figuring out all of all of the checks that can be done, and he's gonna he'll figure out which ones are left, and then piece it together and be able to go from there.
Absolutely. We've seen him do it earlier. We know 100% he's going to do it. So when you're taking your time and just pushing through the seed, not giving up, the best feeling is coming out at the end and knowing did it. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the number of times where it's like, okay, I got to stop, kind of recalibrate. What have I done? What's left to do? Where can I go?
It's all math. It's crazy to think about, we're sitting around, and calculus is not fun for anyone, at least not to say that. Shout outs to those who are using math to actually like engineer our entire lives. But in saying that, just the mental math and the logic that goes into just piecing together. It's crazy to think the computational power of our brains when we're actually doing this stuff. Because you just look at it arbitrarily, you're like, oh yeah, you know what to do, but it's on the fly piecing of logic. Oh, this is here, therefore this must be this, and et cetera, et cetera. Sorry, classic. That's why I said, let me correct myself. Shout out to those who are engineering our entire lives, architect, anyone out there messing with math, because only math I use are numbers. When I pay bills.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Yep, I got all cross-eyed when they started putting all the letters into math, for sure.
Oh my goodness. Once they said, but I was okay with letters in math. Once they said, listen, that's F, and figure out what that function is. I was like, a function? Mm-mm. I thought a function was the part of the remote that got up to different screens. You know what I mean? F
No
of
doubt.
X. I'm like, you know what? You can have it, mate. I'm just going to watch FX.
What happened? There used to be an answer. It was a number. Now the answer's a graph. What the heck?
Exactly. The answer is Euler's theorem, but not really, because it's real, but not really. It's like, what? Okay, you know what?
I wonder if Drew's actually seen the spike tile in those boxes there.
Oh, but at some point, I mean, I hope he will. You know.
Because it looks like he's grinding for something. It looks like just trying to get some enemies.
Just go down, Drew. We just want you to go right down there and just find the sweet spot.
Oh, there he goes.
There we go.
Let's hope he sticks around now. Because I'm not saying, but that's a pretty solid grind spot.
Oh, for sure.
I heard it worked out for someone in this seed.
It seemed to turn out pretty okay, that's for sure.
If I were to bet money, I would say that's likely a good spot.
I think he's got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's actually like, I love to see this too. It's like, yeah, you lost, but when you're a newbie and it's like, nah, I'm gonna stick this out, I'm gonna grind it out. And then you see it come together, it's the best feeling, seriously. Because it's like watching a kid for the first, it's not like watching a kid, but it's like watching someone for the first time learn how to ride a bike. You're just so excited for the potential that they're gonna keep continuing to climb to. So.
As a parent with a 2-year-old, I can attest to this.
As a parent with a 6 and 8-year-old, I can absolutely attest to that.
Shout outs to those with parents right now. I'm just like, Coach, don't put me in the game yet. I'm still on the bench, but one of these days. As we go to Marsh Cave coming up. Now, the precarious thing I just saw was we still need to get in the habit of saving.
I would agree with that, yep.
I do never promote blindly walking into anywhere without popping something that can save.
The first 12 levels for me so sketchy because I couldn't find a dang tent.
That's very true. You have to rely on your legs, mate. And the power of the heel pot.
Yes, and no sweepers and just run for days.
Legs in the heel pot.
Yeah, even when you're coming into low-level dungeons like this, with scripts shuffled, all of a sudden mucks have nuke or something, and it just throws you so hard.
I hope that they saved after their grind.
That was the only sketchy thing for me, is I think I started my big grind at like 25, and I ran it all the way to 40.
And those egg-mores are kind of work.
Yeah, there was one time I think I got 20-30 HP.
Classic Gamer asking who's got to kill 3 slimes. I'm fairly sure he's killed Scums and Ooze already, because he was in here earlier doing the talk to the 6 bats.
He was.
Looks like he's going to get 2 regardless here, no matter what.
This muck, I think, puts him at 3 because he had oozes before, so this muck is what he needed.
Fading and nuke off that ought to take them both out for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's get some save in our lives. Come on, everyone in watching the stream. Let's get okay. They're gonna be right. Sometimes you just gotta have faith, It's like, Mom, don't worry. I'll be safe when I get behind the wheel for the first time, and I was. So.
I think right here he's trying to piece together what is the incentive that I have not done at this point in time. He's retracing his steps, trying to think, what am I missing that's going to lead to this dang cube that is missing?
True.
Yeah, Demon, I think we've all done that at one point in time.
Nope. Just straight up, yeah, I'm gonna nope.
Yeah, between this and then, doing a whole bunch of practice seeds and scrambling what you've actually done, too. It's like getting seeds all mixed up on the same day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is an interesting play. I kind of like this. He's going to do his level 40 grind, I think, in Topher.
That's interesting. Let's get some information.
I wonder if that's the play here. He's got exit, so he can bail out.
We got some validation in our lives. I don't know what's going on.
I wonder if he's just maybe using this as experience just to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try and see if this level would be good enough to do Topher and just try out some things that way for it, just to see how he does.
Could be checking Masa chest as well.
That would be fantastic if he runs all the way to Masa and then exits out. I'd have huge respect for him if he did that.
Mm-hmm. That automatically just elevates you a level in the OG eyes. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my goodness.
Man, I'm glad I skipped or lucked out of this kind of.
You had, what was your? Didn't you have an unrunnable when you first came in? But it wasn't this.
It wasn't this.
Thunders. Oh my gosh, that's nasty.
This is a terrible, terrible unrunnable fight.
Oh, you had some fades to mix in there.
The important thing is the white mage survives, so you know, everything is all good as long as that guy stays alive. I do love that in the flags now, in one of with the new randomizer, they have the send Masa home flag, which is fantastic.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Just be like, yep. No, exactly.
You want this weapon? You want this weapon? Go get it.
Just be like, you know what, white mage, we're gonna throw some levels on you.
Could you imagine if you're playing bingo with that flag on and you get to throw Masa out of the sky floor?
Oh my goodness.
Just run through the second last floor of Topher, exit out, and then run up to sky, and then you can come back and do it again.
Do it. The joys of FF1 random. Whether it's taking Masa home or, you know, just watching a match with a single thief for hours and hours and hours.
The Will Bloodworth special.
Indeed.
Hey, he holds the world record for a single thief run. He may be the only person who's ever done it, but he owns that record.
Kind of going on with what Demon Frog's saying. I hope he either takes out Chaos or makes sure he exits so he doesn't lose these levels he's gaining for sure.
Yeah, I think this is... You can tell by the way he's moving through this, he's 100% not familiar with these maps in particular. You could see he was having issues with the first 4 floors here.
Topher's confused. We've been running a bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is just, you know what? I'm going to gain some experience here. I'm going to learn some of these floors. I'm going to get experience fighting fiends at middle level. I mean, he's like 25-ish across the board, which is a pretty aggressive level to take with these flag sets. It's like right at the edge of where you feel comfortable. So this could just be him saying, you know what, I'm going to test my skills, I'm going to test my abilities, and I'm going to see what I can do with this.
It is a good barometer.
Yeah, this fight seems a lot harder when you're not rolling a 44 black belt into him.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Yeah, we sort of missed your, Oh, Kate works. But we missed your Lich and Carry fight because they sort of disappeared. Wow, what a play! He said, "I don't want to walk all the way down to Chaos. I'm gonna cave
What a
Lich
goat.
too," and then exits out.
What a goat. Says, yep, you know what? For the people. For the people.
Going for the blackout.
Mm-hmm.
Just light them all up. Well, he's actually got the top left to bottom right down
Pick
now.
up another diagonal.
Yeah.
Why not? For the people.
So this gets rid of his thought, I assume. Now he doesn't have to worry about having 2 white mages. Oh no, he's still taking 2 white mages. He doesn't care. Ooh.
Look at that, y'all. That's an interesting play. And I understand the logic. You're edging on caution more than you are offense. So I can understand this play because you're trying to assure I can get through, which definitely makes sense. You got to save those. Well, you save the things.
Yep, save afterwards too.
What'd you say?
He did save afterwards. He got his house in.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think this may. I wonder if this is also a case of he's forgetting that there is a forced line and that he sees 2 completed lines.
He got the wrong diagonals, and I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think he went top left to bottom right when he was forced bottom left to top right. But as I said, it's a learning experience, and there's never anything wrong with learning. Everyone has to do it. Oh no, he didn't buy magic for that second white mage. It's got nothing. That's one of the things with the pub mode is that when you change, you get those same stats and everything, but the spell list gets erased.
I knew there had to be some detriment because you couldn't just swap and be like, okay, everything's good, bye.
Yeah, if you're going from mages, and that the spell, as soon as you go off a mage, the spells go away.
Give it another crack at it, eh?
Yeah, I think this is he mistook which diagonal he was supposed to go for, and unfortunately isn't completing the correct diagonal, but still, nonetheless, it's still a good goal for him, and this is really going to test him. Yeah, he got his 2 lines, and this is going to be really good. Like we were saying, this is right on that precipice of where you're feeling comfortable, that 24-25 of diving a Topher. So if you're able to get through a Topher at those levels, it feels really good.
Yep.
And for all we know, there could be some really, really horrible things in this Topher, but we never got to see it thanks to Black Belt.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Punching everything to oblivion.
Yeah, it seems that your Black Belt got really, really mad when they lived through their first hit, because the second hit was always 2400.
It also didn't hurt that the fast landed usually after the hit, so it's like, oh, let's give you even, like double your hits.
Yeah, that's fast always does that, I'm pretty sure.
It's like 500 damage. Nah, let's make that 2000.
Fast never remembers to go off before the attack. It always seems like it never happens. So through Lich 1, no problems there.
Yep.
Onto the fire floor. This is where you got quite a few unrunnables because the 4 fire pack here was unrunnable, and I think you got 3 of them on this floor. That was
sounds about right. Luckily, I had ice spells to spare.
We're gonna saber up, we're gonna fast. We're gonna look cool as that second white mage. And invis too as well, so bringing up those invasion across the board here. Time to start swinging it. Yeah. 8 hits, 362. Carry with nuclear. Oh my god. 8
Nuclear, ouch.
Ooh, hit points though. He's got a shot.
Nuke coming out. 128 still alive. Done about 480 damage here. So another good swing should be able to take her down. Zap comes out. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh,
2 people you wanted to be alive, unfortunately aren't. Oh, there we go, 9 hits, 621. Carry down. This is going to be. Oof.
that hurts so bad.
Give it a go. Just try. Just try. Oh, that's alright.
I can appreciate that though.
Mm-hmm. Lamp won't save you in this one, mate.
Well, and this time now, he knows that those spells aren't there, so he's going to be able to run around. He's going to take the few minutes.
That would definitely be the prudent move.
Yeah, make sure he gets the spells, particularly Fade at level 6, and Life 2 is at level 2.
Early life too. Can't beat it.
Life 2 I think was level 3.
It was level something. It was low level. You got lots of casts of it.
Yeah, we had plenty of it for sure.
Cured 3 in our lives.
I'll go around, check out a bunch of stuff, make sure everything is ready before he makes his attempt again. Ah, see, it was level 2.
Okay, Invis 2 is level 3. I knew there was something important at level 3.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta get one of the staples.
Everything was exit and Life 2 at level 2.
Yeah. That was what was there. And to be fair, Lamp can save you in every situation. All problems can be solved with Lamp. Very disappointed neither of you picked it up. I mean, when Kraken inks you, what are you supposed to do then?
Punch in the face for 2,000.
But dark.
You gotta get them gains first.
There must be a tile here in Ice Cave that he wants.
This is where, you know, and you'll learn over time, right? But this is where just having the compounded knowledge, right? The EXP tables. Just know, yeah, that Agama red giant, like, you're not gonna beat that. You know, unless you just find, you know, the Gurmadeuces, the 8 Gurmadeuces somewhere, you're not gonna beat the Agama. So, you know, and that's where I guess maybe I was looking for, you know?
He's seen all these trap tiles, and I'm trying to think. There was one as soon as you fell down the hole. It was somewhat good, but I can't.
Yeah, I want to say it was okay for sure.
It might have been a fire. Was it the fire tile?
Yeah, this is funny where, you know, over time you'll be like, oh yeah, based on, you know, averages, boom, boom, boom. And it's funny because logic does always work out no matter what. There's always some grind that's going to be like, oh, okay, sweet. Now, whether it's easy to find or not, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, it's the red D's. Red D's, not the fires.
First time I was like, oh, I'm gonna run from a pack of 4 red D's. I'm like, oh shoot, my tile says I have to defeat them, not just get away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So-
I have a level 50 black belt, and they run from you. I mean, that counts, but
That does actually.
As long as you get the victory music.
that's it. That's all it takes.
This ain't fair.
Oh, these are the ones with mute touch. That's right. That could get really. Oh,
Yeah, mute touch was a rude surprise.
especially for him. You know, because he's going to be running magic for a lot of this stuff. So if that black mage gets muted, that's bad news. But when down goes the ninja, unfortunately. It would also be interesting for him if he could remember checking the 2 trap tiles in Northwest Castle. Those were 2 that haven't been checked. There's the trap tile in Topher, which we didn't see. You know, see if you can find maybe the 3-eye grind or something.
Do some respectable damage.
Yeah, these things have like 300 HP as well. They're a little beefy.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be sitting in on this grind for the whole time. Try to burn off all his charges, gain as many others as possible.
Yeah,
And probably use one of those sweet houses that you wish you could have JMan.
it forces
Those houses sat in my inventory, sting me all night long.
you didn't even sell them just out of spite.
You can't.
I say you can't sell houses. I would have,
Yeah.
so I would certainly used them.
Oh yeah, you can't sell houses.
Yeah, you can't sell inventory. You can sell weapons, you can sell armor, but you can't sell. You can't sell.
Totally
stuff.
low. They just looked at you all day. Ha ha ha.
Probably every
Come
time.
inside, it's raining. We have all the food you could want and shelter. And you're like, nah, I'll just be out here in this tent.
Every single time you opened a box and one of those came, you were probably like, "Oh my god, no, 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 no!"
Especially early on. Like, just a tent? That's what really I'm asking for. I'm not asking for too much, am I?
And yet, when asking Rando for anything,
Good luck having it listen.
it giveth and it taketh away in the same frame.
Always.
We're gonna have another crack at it because that's what we do. Got some nuke in our lives.
Taking care of everything. Nuke is always serviceable. Never
And
feel
it's
bad.
equal distribution of levels. I like that.
Enough unrunnable ghasties. What an annoyance. Good X, but what an annoyance. Low HP though. The incredibly scary tile of Gerwolves guarding the door to 2,000 years in the past. Garland messed up on who you're supposed to put there. HP growth of white mages should never be underestimated.
Exactly. Just like I said.
I got 500 and something HP on those. And the growth is great.
Yeah, that HP is pretty good on those white mages for sure. They just keep the party alive.
That's why the white samurai strat was always great, because there's such a high probability that they were going to live through it.
That's it. Throw that moss on there and away you go.
Then when you get the bonus that gives them fighter strength, ooh.
Will we see another Quake? Oh. We're no longer for the people, we're about completing the seed. And I respect that.
It's like I did what I had to do with this already. Let's just kill this thing now.
It's gonna be
ironic.
The skill list
lived longer.
Oh, what?
Ironically, Lich lived longer this time without getting caked.
It's gonna be interesting seeing all the spell lists of all these different fiends because we have no idea what they do. Seeing as JMan was One Punch Man, so
yeah, sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. The game.
I think I did see a nuke on Kraken 2.
Was it nuke or nuclear?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might have been nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just noticed that every time you second punched something, it was like for 2,200 damage.
It just died.
Punch 1, 700 damage. Something lived. Punch 2, 2,400. It's dead.
Clapping hands. That was basically your run, J-Man, just clapping hands.
How's that work? Play the music for the people.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tempers, we got Sabers, we got Invises with 10. Oh no!
Yep.
Zap. Oh.
And
Okay,
now I'll fade.
We've got one person alive who can do something here. This nuke's gotta go off, it's coming off. 248, he's still alive. Hit him with 6 shots and he's still alive. He's 3. Try lit 3 this time. Carrie's gotta be low on HP. Done like 850, 900 damage.
I know.
Another nuke.
Okay,
there we go. There we go.
Dream is still alive.
Massive HP pool on those white mages. It stays alive.
The other thing is, got to make sure you stock up on your heal pots before you drop into Topher.
Oh yeah.
Oh, waters. Oh no. Listen, water's my favorite drink in life. In this game, water's my least favorite enemy. And one thing you will come to learn, this might come as a shock to y'all, lightning is actually not water's weakness in this game. They took their time. It was like, you know what? Ice actually freezes water.
I was just about to say the same thing.
So, J-Man, if you watch the VOD and you get to this point, hope I put you on some knowledge.
Every little bit helps.
It does, doesn't it? You scoop it up somewhere, you're like, oh, I'm keeping this.
Yeah, it's one of those counterintuitive things that everything in Kraken's Sea Shrine is almost exclusively weak to lightning, but waters are to ice.
Exactly. They actually is back in Final Fantasy IX. There's I forgot the enemy, but it's a specific water-based enemy that if you use ice, it gives it like weakness damage. And I was like, oh, that's a shout out to FF1.
Yeah, one day I'm gonna play a Final Fantasy past like 8.
I'm still waiting to just brave up and create Final Fantasy 3 Rando, if it doesn't already exist.
Yeah, that.
It's just no. It would be great to watch, but does anyone really have the audacity to pick up the controllers and brave through that? Just cloud of darkness, enjoy. Oh no.
I think you have to.
I think I'd be able to activate you using brackets instead of let 3.
I think you'd have to, in that case, with the FF3 rando, you'd have to leave it similar to this, where once you're at the Crystal Palace and everything is the same. Oh, it is New Code of Kraken.
Ooh, that is New God of Kraken. Yeah, but also the interesting thing is, it's just like you're not saving, you know? So that whole you're not like FF3 is like you're not saving.
With all the jobs and everything, I could make it. 10 hits, 582, big hit.
There
Down
we
goes
go.
Kraken. Oh, but
Kraken
we have a
pretty
problem.
light.
Okay, that's right. He did buy life too on that one. It was Fade he doesn't have on him. Here's that lack of heal pots that's becoming a little bit of an issue. That's okay.
Where was Cure 4?
Had to be 7 or 8. We never saw it. So, yeah, somewhere in 7 and 8. I don't think anybody ever checked anything in Onrak or Gaia. So
Went there looking for 10s, didn't find any.
when you go to a late game store in hopes of finding a tent, you know things are a little sideways for you.
See how Tier 2 fares. Throwing some respect, getting some fog up, Saber.
He actually saved that fog charge because it's holding the same spot as Life 2, and he wants to make sure he's got a couple of casts of Life 2 just in case. That's a smart heads-up play.
It is. Did TMI fast itself?
Yeah, it did the same thing to
So he didn't mind fight for all the good it did him.
Yeah, that was his one move. He was like, I'm gonna fast, and then he got punched in the face.
Oh no. You need some more Invis 2 in your life. Invis 2,
Yeah.
it has to stack. You gotta stack it at least 3 times.
Throwing out the Brack, Hail Mary Bracks.
Oh, I was hoping.
May as well.
I was hoping it would hit.
Oh my goodness, 7 damage only from that Katana?
Not good.
Ooh.
You need some lock in your life.
That's another one I don't recall seeing.
Do we see?
I'm gonna check the awesome notes that our Danny gave us here. Yeah, it was level 3, but was never picked up. Block 1 was.
I don't think I ever saw Block 2.
No, that would have had to be 7 or 8.
He's got rubbed and said. Was that 1 damage?
It was. Looks like his only hope is when he crits.
Or Hail Mary Brack.
Right.
No, down goes the Black Mage. The Hail Mary bracks aren't hitting at this point. And down goes the Ninja.
About that time.
It's a tough break. Try and punch him. Go for it.
Go down like a champion.
I would love to see one hit, one damage and terminated.
Greatest move of all time.
And with that wipe, we've gotten a confirmation out of the race room that he's forfeit the remainder of this race.
Let's still, give him a virtual pat on the back and virtual balls.
That's a heck of a run. We're gonna see if he's around for a couple of quick questions. Of course, I'm not logged in there, so I'm ready. See if he's interested in coming by for a couple quick questions.
No. It's interesting seeing winter dab tournament when it's summer over here.
Yeah, it's because you're backwards, but whatever.
Or one could say y'all are backwards. I've been here long enough where I tend to think I don't know what reality is anymore sometimes.
Drew's declined the interview at this point in time. But again, everyone get your GGs out for him. So that's going to do it for us. We're going to go final words. What do you got for us, JMan? Like we said, going up against Lord Fizzlebeef. Talk your smack now. Yeah, even he's afraid to. I don't blame him.
Oh, sorry, I had my mic muted. Like I said, I usually use this time to thank you guys for doing all the work behind the scenes, doing the restreams, doing the commentary, putting the work up for the people so they can enjoy some Final Fantasy Randomizer. Appreciate it.
And we appreciate you. Good luck in your next round match. And to anyone who doesn't know, this isn't the end for Drew either. This just bumps him down into the lower bracket here. He's got a second chance. This is a double elimination tournament, so his tourney ain't over at this point in time. Check out on the side. We've got a bunch of things come up here for our Discord. Make sure you follow the runners, both JMan and Drewlith, my co-commentator Duchess. We had Demon Frog doing the restream for us and Danny doing the tracking. Make sure you give everybody a follow for that. Make sure you follow Randomania and all of its sister channels as well. This has been a really, really good race. We saw some really good things out of JMan here, and we're hoping for good things for you going forward in the tournament. Duchess, any last thoughts to you, my friend?
I mean, you've done all the thanks. Just want to thank all the eyeballs that, graced the stream. Hope y'all had a great time watching like we did. Had a great time commentating. Ilmars, thanks for chilling in the booth with me. Welcome back. It's been a minute, but like I said, you stepped in the booth like an OG veteran. So shout outs to you. And Drew, if you're listening, shout outs to you as well. You will definitely do better next round. And J-Man, enjoy this victory, but it's just like the playoffs. You already know. Coach would be like, yeah, we won this one, but you don't have the chip yet. So enjoy this, have a nice victory meal, and then get ready to get back in the gym tomorrow, mate, because you going up against.
Absolutely.
And with that, we're going to conclude this tonight. Once again, I am Ilbar Zubin for Duchess for Kaios. I'm a Demon Frog and Danny 3883. Good night, Randomania. Check out tomorrow. We've got another dab race. So we will see you all tomorrow.